Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. It is Sunday. I'm just on my way to the gym actually, training today. I'm really just getting ready for the week ahead of me. On my to-do list today, it's not really a vlog, I'm not really vlogging the day today, but I wanted to answer a question that I'm getting a lot recently. I was in 3 schools last week, just giving talks, and by far the most common question that I'm getting is, how do you raise the money to go on an expedition? How do you raise the money? And it's not even to go on an expedition, you know, people are trying to raise money to do all sorts of things. But I thought, you know what? For starters, there's no right or wrong way. There is no, this is the way to do it. I'm gonna tell you how I did it. And I've raised, if you're watching this channel, you probably know a little bit about what I've been up to, and you probably know me, I guess, to a certain extent. I've raised hundreds of thousands of pounds of funding over the years to go away on expeditions. And look, it's difficult, but I'm going to tell you how to do it. So if you've seen the title and you're clicking on this to try and understand how to gain expedition adventure sponsorship, maybe get a pen and paper. I'm going to tell you a few things. So first of all, I want to talk about something called the 4 W's. Okay? So this is what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you can give, and what do you want. So in order, effectively, to get funding, no one is going to come and drop a load of funding on your lap and say, hey, I heard you're doing something great, here's some money. You're going to have to proactively go out and get it. And I generally do that just through sending emails. Every expedition that I've made happen in the past has happened through sending proactive emails. Then I would follow them up with a call. But actually, nowadays I'm not even doing as much calling. Most of it's on email, but I digress. So in short, you need to put a proposal together, okay? You've got to put a proposal together. So what you're doing, clearly you're gonna have to go into detail on what you're doing. You know, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, whatever you're doing. Then you need, the biggest thing that you're gonna have to think about and have a really good answer is why, okay? Why you are doing it. You cannot say, because it's there, because I want to, why not? You can try it, but that's just not a compelling enough reason for a company to give you money in this day and age. Now, I could be wrong, try it, but I wouldn't, you know, you have to have a compelling reason why you are doing something. I can't tell you what that is. Even nowadays, everyone and their dog are doing things for charity, and that's a good thing, by the way. It's a very good thing. But you can't even really say anymore, well, I'm raising money for charity, because everyone is. That's just not really good enough. There's got to be a really compelling reason why you are doing something. If you're going out trying to seek funding. So have a think about that. I can't obviously tell you. So what it is that you can give. So if I'm going to give you some money, what do I get? What do you give for that money? So you're going to have a think about that. No one's just going to give you money. So for instance, when I rode across the Atlantic, I put logos on boats and things. When I climbed Everest, I took a company flag up to the summit of Everest. But we're living in a very different age now, and a lot of it, it's really about content. So you need to think about what content you can provide for people. I'm quite lucky, I'm in a position where I can offer speaking. I can go in and speak at the company before and after, pre and post. It's content generation. You know, you've got product testing, product placement, you've got branding. Now the branding will cover a whole lot of different things. You've got branding on a boat, branding on a person, branding on an aircraft, branding on a race car. Depends what you're doing. So branding covers a whole range of things. You've also got the PR. If you're doing something quite significant and you think it's going to generate PR, you can mention that in your press releases that you send out. Also, there's the industry sort of PR, industry PR for the company that's sponsoring you. So for instance, if a financial company is backing you, well, the financial industry is massive. So you can write content for that company to go out just to the financial sector. It's called industry related PR. So it doesn't take a genius to sit there and think up of many different things that you can offer. You have to be able to offer something. So have a think about that, guys. It's the fourth thing. What do you want? You need to tell people what you want, and you've got to ask. So you've told them what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you can offer. Now you have to think about, what do you want? Well, how much is it costing? How are you going to split that up? You can't give everything away that you can offer to one person who's only going to give you a small amount of funding. But at the same time, you kind of need to be a bit flexible. Sometimes people will want to help you, but they don't have all the money. So you need to think about that. And so once you've got that proposal, that's your most important part. You've got to get a good proposal covering the 4 W's. What you're doing, why you're doing it, what you can offer, and what do you want. Get someone to read it. Don't worry too much if you're not particularly good at English or writing proposals. There are lots of good people out there that will look at it for you and help you, lots. You cannot be sending stuff out that has spelling mistakes, that's not written particularly well. It's just not going to work. And you've got to remember that when you send your proposal out, it's going to be sitting there in an inbox along with other people's proposals. So it's got to stand out. And you've got to be realistic in your expectation. You have to send hundreds, and I mean thousands of emails out to get something back. 90% of the emails that you send out, I can guarantee you will not get anything back. But you have to go through that process, otherwise you'll never find that small 10%, that small 5% that will back you, okay? A lot of people come to me, they say, James, I'm not doing particularly well, I'm not really getting anywhere, can you have a look at what I'm doing? And I say, yeah, how many people have you spoken to? And they say, well, yeah, I've sent 20 emails out. That's just not going to work. And I say, come back to me when you sent 200 out, and I'll have a look at what you're doing. You know, proactivity and persistence is the biggest thing. There is no secret. There is no secret to gaining funding. I'm just telling you what I do. So if you're now thinking, okay, so you've got your proposal, and we now know that we've got to be pretty persistent. We've set our mind up for the fact that we are going to have to send hundreds, if not thousands of emails out. So who are you going to email? You know, if you're not really sure. So the first thing you can do, I mean, look, just Google the top 500 companies in the world. They're Fortune 500 companies. There's lots of lists on the internet where you can get company names from, lists of companies. A good one is the Sunday Times top 500 companies in the UK. Email them all. Ah shit, hold on guys, that's better, isn't it? It's a bit wet here. I'm just trying to do this on my way to the gym. So find a list, and you're now going to have to think about, well, how do I find the email addresses? So this guys, this is the really time consuming part. You're going to have to find out the names of the people that you want to email. I generally go right in at the top. I email the CEOs or the MDs. Things flow down a lot easier. Things don't flow up, they always flow down. So I generally always go in at the top, and you'll be surprised, more CEOs, more MDs do get emails than you think. I've quite often had replies from people that I was just blown away at. So you need to, you must never ever send an email out that says, "Dear Sir, Madam." You have to be addressing it. You have to be writing to someone. Otherwise you are never going to get, you will not get a reply, that I can assure you. So also another good tool is LinkedIn. You can use LinkedIn to search for people's names, but I think there's only a limit how many times you can do that before you have to upgrade to LinkedIn Premium. Now I'm going to tell you a little tip here. I don't know how many people are using this at the moment, but I stumbled across it the other day. Get a pen and paper and write this one down. It's called Rocket Reach, www.rocketreach. I'll put the link in the description. You type someone's name, the company they work for, and it will give you their email address if they have it on file. Now it doesn't have everyone's, but I've been using it recently and I have been blown away at the results that I've got from using this website. It's a subscription based website, so you do have to pay. It's a very small amount of funding, but you can pay for a month and cancel it. So you can cancel it. That's what I did, but I was very impressed with it. And so that's finding out, you know, who you're going to email and how you're going to get their email addresses. But I think what I'd be doing now is I generally look for people who know people within organisations. A warm lead in, i.e. an introduction into a company, you will stand a much better chance than sending a cold email, i.e. just emailing it in. But you do need to do that. You must do that. And I think really it's just a case of just being persistent and really how much you want it. But one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, again, people come to me, they say, I need to raise some money to do this, to do that. And actually it turns out they're not really after a lot of money. You have to know, when you take money off someone, when you go away on a big expedition and you take tens of thousands of pounds from a company or a wealthy individual, that is a huge weight of responsibility that is on your shoulders. I can tell you that because I have been in this situation many times. So if you're not looking to raise a great deal, my advice would probably be just to work and save up the money. If you work extra hours, do whatever you got to do, take an extra job on, you can save. Most people can save a little bit, and I would pay for it yourself. It just takes the pressure off things a little bit. I thrive under pressure, if I'm honest. I come alive, but not everyone does. So that is what I do, okay? So when people say to me, how do you get funding? I say, well, first of all, you need to get a proposal. You need to cover off those 4 W's, what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you can offer, what do you want. You can put some other stuff in, obviously, about you and whatever detail you think is relevant. But don't go off on a massive tangent. Don't go into too much detail, because sometimes it just blows people away. So put your proposal together and effectively just get out there. Just put it out there. You know, that is where most people fall short. I have seen it time and time and again. Most people have the ability, or they know someone to help them write a really good proposal. It's easy, it's not that difficult. But then they fall short because they realise it's just too demoralising. When you've sent hundreds of emails out and you say, well, no one's got back to me, I don't know what to do. Well, the reality is, send another one, pick up the phone, ask if they received it. I cannot tell you, if this was easy, everyone would be going off doing various things, seeking funding to set up, well, seeking funding to set up businesses is different, because it's just, what you're getting back is slightly different. But getting expedition funding is hard. It's very hard, but it's very, very doable at the same time. If you go through those steps that I've just outlined, and you're creative, you use your network of people around you, and you're persistent and you do not give up, you will get there. I've probably spoken 13 minutes, crikey. I just wanted to tell you what I do. There's no right or wrong, but put your comments in below. Let me know what you think. But I'm just sharing with you. All I wanted to do today was share with you what I do and tell you how to sort of roughly and loosely start going about doing it. I could make another, in fact, if you're watching this far, you're obviously relatively interested. So if you are kind of interested in what I have to say and my experience of raising funding for expeditions, drop a note in the comments below, and I'll maybe think about trying to make a detailed, a much more proper, not where I'm walking in the street just chatting on the camera. I'll make a proper detailed video on and really offer more of a step-by-step guide for you to go out there, like a template to go out and see what you can make happen. But that's what I wanted to share with you today, how I go about raising expedition funds. Alright guys, I've got to get to the gym. I'll see you later.
Alone and waiting for you, I can say